Good morning. My name is Chris Hamrick, and welcome to the ServiceNow Business Continuity Management System. The ServiceNow BCM system supports the entire business continuity lifecycle from end-to-end program support and automation to implementation and validation. We'll get started by going through our analysis phase. So ServiceNow's BCM allows the end users to perform a business impact analysis, which is a module which helps the user understand the impacts, prioritize their recovery objectives, and map their dependencies. We'll start from the user dashboard and open up a business impact analysis, assessing our key business processes across the organization. These processes can roll up to departments, business functions, and even units. The business impact analysis loads within a single window pane, and the end user has their table of contents on the left-hand side, starting with the details, which identifies who has access to this BIA, what are their roles and responsibilities, what element are we assessing, and then we have our key metrics, which includes our criticality score, our recovery time objective, which is essentially how critical is this process and how quickly does it need to be recovered, and then our maximum tolerable period of disruption. The end user will be able to map out all of the key dependencies which this critical process depends upon. One of the key advantages to doing BCM on the ServiceNow platform is the fact that we can leverage all of our existing enterprise data using a single data set model, as well as leveraging relationships across the platform. In this case, you could see within our connector legend that some of our dependencies are solid lined mapped and some are dotted line mapped. The solid line indicates that these relationships have come in automatically across the platform. The end user can expand and enhance these dependency mappings by clicking on the Add Remove Child Dependencies, which gives them the ability to select and map any other element as a dependency. In addition to our dependency mapping, end users will be able to understand their impacts and prioritize their recovery objectives by assessing impacts over time. In this particular example, we are assessing 5 different questions, and within each question, we're assessing the impacts over time. You can see we have specific time frames and different impact ratings. As the end user goes through and assesses the impacts over time, the system will calculate a criticality score, which will then drive the recovery time objective. In addition to the BIA, end users will also be able to perform site threat assessments. These assessments are used to measure natural, man-made, technical, and other risks by location. For example, if I go into my Raleigh, North Carolina assessment, you can see here I'm capturing inherent risk and residual risk for that particular location. And then you can see all of the different threats which are included in this assessment. As part of the assessment, I'm looking at the impacts, the likelihoods, and whether or not we have effective controls in place. Reporting and dashboarding of the results are available, which allows the end user to visualize the impacts and the threats, and then also develop response and recovery strategies around those. These dashboards come out of the box, and I can quickly access that through my overview page. From here, I can see overall inherent risk, overall residual risk per location, broken out by threat. I can drill into any of these categories and see the actual threats related to natural for my San Diego location. Following the analysis, the end user will go through the implementation phase, which covers plan development, integrating strategies into those plans, and also identifying people, procedures, and resources that are required for recovery. So I'll go ahead and open up an example of my human resources business continuity plan. From here, our admins can go in and update the details specific to this plan, such as the type of plan, the department, the owners, the approvers, contributors, and any approval due dates and next test dates. The end user can click the View Plan, which will take them to their plan user interface. The plan, similar to the BIA, includes a table of contents, with each section loading within a single window pane. The end user can quickly navigate from one section to another by clicking the link here or by clicking the up and down arrow. As you can see here, the data will load within each plan. One of the key benefits to doing business continuity planning on the platform is that a lot of this data is going to automatically be updated based on data coming from core ServiceNow platform tables. For example, my list of key employees, I can quickly go in to edit that list and see that this data is being pre-populated based on data coming from our system user table. One of the key areas within our recovery plans are our recovery activities, which are captured via our recovery task list. These task lists identify the specific activities that need to occur in the event we have to activate this plan. And as you can see here, we can assign these tasks out to key individuals. Tasks can also be identified as occurring in parallel, and we can also have tasks with subtasks that roll up to each task list. In addition to our tasks being on platform, we can also relate any risks directly to an element or directly to a plan. For example, we could see we have a number of risks associated with our client services process, and I can quickly go in to view that risk and see at what stage is the risk in, the description of that specific risk, any indicators, controls, and any monitoring that's going on. In addition to risk, I can also link controls that are related directly to any of the elements within the scope of the plan or the plan itself. And I can quickly go in to view the control to see the specific details, the status, any specific attestations, indicators, test plans, and risk associated with that control. Once the end user has completed the analysis phase in the plan development phase, they'll now be ready to go through the recovery management module. The recovery management module can be used across four different components that make up a recovery event. The first is the incident management, which is determining which plans or which elements have been affected by an event. Crisis management, which is the actual activation of those plans. Recovery, which is going through and activating each plan and then restoring those plans to a normal state. From the recovery event portal, each user will be able to go in and identify which element has been impacted. For example, you may have a location outage. I can quickly go in, identify the specific location, and select that location as experiencing an outage. Following that, the end user could quickly see what other elements are impacted as a result. One of the big key indicators using BCM on the platform is the system's ability to automate and identify impacted dependencies based on a single point of failure or a single outage. From here, I can quickly see that there are 35 additional elements that are impacted as a result of a data center outage. From here, I can see the elements that are directly impacted, which are identified as level 1. And as I scroll down, I can see additional level 2, level 3, level 4. These impacted dependencies are identified based on our dependency mapping, which is performed during our analysis phase. From here, I could select additional elements that are impacted. And then the last step is identifying which plans need to be activated. The system will automatically look at where the outage has occurred, what dependencies have been impacted, and then recommend the plans that need to be activated. I can quickly select all, or I can pick and choose which plans need to be activated. Once I update the event, the system will automatically create an event record and bring in all of the recovery activities, allowing our crisis management team or our BC or DR coordinators the ability to manage all aspects of a recovery event. Once the event has been updated, I can open up that event and start working on the recovery process. The top half of the screen, I can add specific details such as related events. I can select an event type, which could be an exercise or an actual event. I can select a test type, and then start my restoration workflow. As I scroll down, you'll notice I can select key participants. These could be individuals who have recovery activities associated with their groups. I can also set incident command roles. In the event of an exercise, I can capture my goals and objectives, my key losses, my lessons learned, and then track my overall event metrics. Below the fold here, I can now manage the recovery of plans, elements, and monitor my recovery tasks. Within my plans, I can prioritize plans based on their criticality. Within my elements, I could see all of the key elements that make up the plans that I've activated, and I can sort those by recovery time objectives and manage the recovery of those specific elements. And then I can manage my recovery task list. The tasks for each plan will come into the event, and if they have an assignment group or an assigned to associated with it, that will also come into the recovery event as well. As I go through and close out my task, the next task will automatically change state and kick off different notifications and workflows that have been configured. If I go back and check my plans, you'll notice that the start time has automatically updated based on the tasks that have been closed, and I can now report up to leadership on the status of the overall recovery of a particular plan, element, or task within my event. In addition, I can also link with other areas on the platform within ITSM or ITOM, such as incident management, change management, and project management. The last area we'll focus on is reporting and dashboarding. This is one area where we use the native ServiceNow capabilities, which allows our end users and our program managers the ability to create dashboards with different reports that will allow them to visualize their response recovery strategies, plan and BIA status, exercise and event status, overall assessments, and facilities management. Thank you for taking some time to view the key components that make up the ServiceNow BCM module.